Well, first of all, thanks for being here today. Um, Proud of our team, proud of our road victory. Always good to win on the road. And I was just proud that, we showed a little toughness, a little resilience in the ball game. Certainly we had opportunities maybe to put it away a little earlier and weren't able to do that. You have to give Oklahoma a lot of credit, though. Those kids kept fighting, and we were just, again, you're always fortunate to win on the road. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm really excited about the opportunity we have tomorrow. That's what sports affords you. Athletics affords you. This is a team that really beat us soundly in every phase, a month ago. And certainly we're different now. They're different now. But I'm excited about the opportunity. They're really good, really talented. They've only lost one game, obviously. They've won 8 straight, I think, 9 straight, 8 in the league. And they're playing extremely well. So we've got our hands full with this group. But, again, really, they're impressive. They got a player in Kaiser that reminds me a lot of a guard that I had at Mississippi State in Victoria Vivians. She can score at all 3 levels, big physical guard, really hard to deal with. They've got size inside. They've got a 4-player that's a monster and has size to go with that. And they've got great guard play. Their point guard does a great job running the show for them. And, Mike and his staff do a tremendous job. So we're excited about the opportunity. We had a decent day yesterday. I'm hopeful we'll have a great day today in preparation. And again, excited about the opportunity. Hopefully our kids will really embrace the opportunity to play this team again.
Danny, start us off.
Vic, not so much about the game, but the NCAA just made official their plans to, have the whole tournament in the San Antonio area. I'm just kind of wondering what your thoughts were about that. And was that an idea that you support, kind of having a bubble per se?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, Danny. There's only one way to do this if you're going to do it and do it right. And that's trying to keep everybody in a bubble, in a secluded area. Obviously it's not going to be all at one venue, but, keeping them in secluded in limited access areas at certain hotels. It's the only safe way to do it. And again, appreciate their thought process going through this to make sure that, this comes to fruition. If I'm not mistaken, I was reading, I don't have much time to read, but I think I saw where the Women's Hockey Pro League was trying to have their playoffs, and the whole thing's gotten canceled because of they didn't have a real concealed bubble, so to speak. They were bringing players in and out, and and I could be right. It's one of those sports, though. I believe it is that, and so we've got to be real careful. There's no doubt. So I think they thought it through well, and hey, it's good for us. It's close.
And then about Saturday, you obviously have some history with Esmery. How much has she developed since you were recruiting her at Mississippi State?
Well, she's really become a tremendous player, and she's can stretch you. She's got tremendous athleticism. She's physical. I mean, just a really competitive kid, and so she continues to get better and better, and really, to me, she's a really big, important piece to their team. I mean, they would be really different in my mind without her. Now, Kaiser certainly makes them completely, they'd be really different without her too. But, Esmery is very, very talented and, my kind of player, no doubt about it.
John High, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned how they beat you guys pretty soundly up there. Is this one that you think your girls have had on their mind since that happened and wanted to get back out there and show that wasn't them?
Yeah, you hope so, John. I don't know that we've had it on our mind. We can't think past, the next opponent. We're just not that talented. But I do think that once this game comes up, I think you realize, hey, we didn't play well. We had all kinds of problems. Audrey wasn't available. Charlie's in foul trouble. Lauren wasn't available. So, I mean, we're a different team, and so are they. I mean, so they're a seasoned veteran team in my mind, and a physical team, tough, physical, aggressive team. So if you don't prepare for something like that, or don't like being in an arena with that, it makes it tough. And we just didn't like it the first time, and I'm hopeful our kids will embrace it, and we're going to prepare them for it this time. And again, we'll prepare them again like we did before. We got to go out and execute against them. They're really sound defensively and offensively. They've got a lot of kids that can break you down one-on-one.
And in what ways are you guys different from then? Are you a tougher? Do you feel like you guys are a tougher team now, or what?
Well, we're different in that I'll have Audrey and Lauren, available. That's for sure. And we've been, we've now been in the system a month longer, than back then. It's automatically makes you a little bit different, a little more accustomed to everybody, a little more comfortable with everybody. That was kind of the first game where it kind of went south on us, and we could never just get it stopped. And a lot of that had to do with Charlie being in foul trouble, to be honest with you, John. So, she's a month older and wiser, and the rest of us are too. So,
Taylor, go ahead.
You mentioned earlier how great of a team West Virginia is, and you said that you guys really need to execute. So what is the game plan? How do you guys go in there on Saturday and end their 9-game streak?
Well, I don't think you can turn the ball over, because when you do, it's an avalanche the other way. I mean, they get going in transition, it's downhill. And so we've got to do a great job, one, of being back and in transition. But number two, we don't need to turn it over and create 3-on-1s. And we had some of that the first time we played them. When you look in their box scores, they're usually double figures in fast break points. And so, you might give up 2 or 4 off of a long shot, long rebound type situation, but you can't turn the ball over against this crew, because they'll make you pay in a hurry, and one turns into 3 or 4. They're kind of like, us in the press. When they get 1 or 2, it's like piranhas on a roast, and it's just, it's downhill from there. So we've got to make sure we take good care of the ball.
And just an incredible record at home. What makes it so hard to win in Austin? And now that you guys have limited fans, how does that add to the tough environment?
Well, I certainly hope we get some fans out Saturday. Our kids deserve it. If you got a ticket and you're not coming, I would just hope our fan base would walk outside, walk down the block, walk to the park, give those tickets away if you're not coming. Because our kids, this team deserves our fan support. You got one of the best players in the country in Charlie Collier playing at the University of Texas. And, kids like that just don't come around every day. And, she's really special. And so it's a shame that I said this the other day, that we don't have 8, 9, 10,000 in there every night watching this team play. And because I think they're fun to watch. They play really hard. And so, playing at home, obviously, it's a lot more, you're just more comfortable. You're in your own bed at night, the night before. It's just a more, little bit more controlled environment. And that's life on the road. I mean, you go to West Virginia, it's 3.5-hour plane ride. It's a all day sucker to get there. It's pack a lunch. They drop you off at the up on top, and you have to walk 200 yards down a steep incline, a tunnel to get into the arena. It's 25 degrees outside. You're lucky if it's not iced and snow on that thing you're walking down, which it wasn't when we were there, but I can imagine it gets pretty slick. And so these are all things you have to deal with them when you go on the road. And so everybody's got them. Here at Austin, we let you off at the back door. You get to walk right in. It's controlled climate, no big deal, but that's just the way it is on the road. And so, that's part of it. And, us here in in this part of the country, you know, our climate's quite different than some of the other parts of the country we have to travel to, and that's sometimes different for our kids. So, hey, this is what this is part of it. It's part of life on the road.
Danny, back to you.
Vic, you were not pleased with the turnovers in the middle of the game on Wednesday, and turnovers were clearly a problem last year with this team. How would you assess where you guys are with turnovers? Obviously, Kyra has a pretty good handle with her assisted turnovers, but team-wise, where would you assess the problem?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Danny, we're still not where we need to be. We've shown glimpses of it. You know, we've had games of 10 and 11, and then we'll have a game jump up and we got 16 or 17. And that's just too many. And you got to take care of the ball. We had some turnovers in crunch time the other night, late in the game that you don't need to have. But again, that's part of that is inexperience with this team, quite frankly. And, Kyra's assist to turnover ratio is pretty good. I give you an example. We had a press breaker the other night, and, it's real obvious who shoots free throws really good for us. And that's who obviously we want the ball in their hands, down the stretch when somebody's trying to foul you. And my team just changed the press attack and changed who we threw the ball into. They made that decision on their own. And I asked them after, I said, hey, who changed who changed the press attack and we inbounded the ball to somebody different? They go, oh, well, that was me, coach. My bad. I mean, who does that? But that's a young, inexperienced team. There's a reason why if somebody's shooting 90, 80%, that's who you want the ball to be in their hands when somebody's trying to foul you. And so, but this is my team right now, and they're slowly but surely getting it.
Got one more in the queue, John High.
Coach, you were talking about the limited fans you guys are going to have back. When the NCAA start up, do you feel like they should have limited fans or no fans, or are you kind of indifferent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with family. I think it's a shame if family can't watch their kids play. Anything past that, that's above my pay grade, John. But I mean, I would at least hope that they're going to allow family to watch their kids play. A college career is fleeting. And it's just a shame when parents can't come watch their kids play. And certainly we all get it. We all understand, why we are where we are. But all you got to do is look at box scores across the country. I mean, some people have 2,000. Some people have 200. Some people don't have anybody. And, again, those are decisions above my pay grade. But, for that, in my mind, minimum, gotta let family members come see them play. And, surely they'll be smart enough if they're not feeling well that, they won't enter arena. And again, they'll keep them far enough away, I'm sure, too, where there'll be limited exposure. So, hey, again, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of folks involved in making those decisions, and they're going to make the right decisions. And, we just got to get through it. I do think there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I think our country feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel. Is it tomorrow? Probably not. Is it next month? Probably not. But I do think it's coming, and there'll be some sense of normalcy, before me and you get too old.
Let's go over to Andrea for the last one. You're muted, Andrea.
Sorry. Against these physical teams, you guys have obviously struggled. And it's been turnovers, and you can point at one person or another, but really you've struggled just to score the basketball. I think your shooting percentages are much lower. What's been the message to your team about that? How do you get through those times where you're not scoring the ball well or shooting well?
Well, the only way to fix your shot, Andrea, as you know, is get in the gym. There's not enough time in my practice to spend on you shooting the ball. So those are times when you get in the gym, it's you and the ball and the basket, and you work on your game, you work on your craft. And, the only way to fix your shots is to get in the gym and work on it. And I don't mean stand there and catch and shoot. I mean, work on game-like shots, get your heart rate up, that kind of thing. And so that's a part of the game that sometimes, you don't want to do, but it's necessary. So my message has been get in the gym and shoot the ball. We're available to rebound for you. Managers are here, coaches are available, but you got to fix it. As far as the physical piece, our guards are learning to be more physical. I take, and you didn't say it, but I heard it the other day. I have a real issue with somebody saying that, for instance, Charlie's not physical. I mean, she's got 90 rebounds in 5 games. And you don't think somebody's not trying to put a butt in her gut, and somebody else doesn't have an elbow in her ear, and somebody else doesn't have a knee in her rear? And so for that somebody to say that, they're not watching the same game I'm watching. That kid's working her tail off. She is working around people. She's really, I've seen her change and evolve into the player she's becoming. And again, she's still way up there in her ceiling. She's gotten so much better. But that's, again, I think we all understand my team is not where I want it to be from a physical standpoint. But in my mind, you don't get 30 and 20 because you're soft, or you're not physical. I mean, I'm sure there's all levels of being physical. She touches a lot of them in my mind, and she's getting better and better and is embracing it more and more. So, it's my team as a whole, we probably aren't, close to where I want to be, but we're learning. Again, you get taken to the woodshed often enough. You're not supposed to fight back if it's mom or dad, but it's okay to fight back if it's athletics. At some point, enough's enough, and that's just the way it is. And when you've had enough, when you realize, I'm tired of being called soft. I'm tired of being beaten this way. I'm tired of not being able to handle this. At some point, you just get enough and you embrace the fact that, I got to work on that. And then when you see some results from that, you like that. And it doesn't, it's a good thing in athletics, no matter what sport, to be tough, physical, and aggressive.
And just talking about Charlie, she's obviously on a tear lately with her rebounding, scoring, shooting the ball. I think the thing that stood out to me is her buy-in to defense lately. Has there been like a light bulb, or has that just been coming along slowly?
I think it's been, it's something that's a process with her. Again, whatever whatever the emphasis is, that's what kids typically grab onto. And, I guess for her, it's never really been something that's been emphasized. And now obviously we emphasize it. I've told her, hey, you're usually the last line of defense. Our guards are going to help you play post defense 30 feet from the rim. You got to help them when there's some heartache and dribble penetration. I need you to help them. I'm still waiting for her to get her first charge. I may pass out, but I saw her get a steal in the press the other night. I saw her get a steal on the half court the other night. And so, here's the one thing about Charlie. You tell her what you want. You tell her what she needs to do, and she will do it. She will embrace it. And, I do think she has a little bit more understanding about it. And at the same time, she's getting smarter on that end too. I mean, sometimes she's got to be really smart when she does do something there on that end. So, but you see 6'5" in the press doing what she does some nights. She didn't do it the other night at Oklahoma, but she did it the night before against Tech. That shows to me, that shows a lot, and so, I know our guards get excited when she's up there in the press and helping to create turnovers and things like that.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Appreciate y'all. Praise the Lord and hook 'em.